Good morning, and welcome to the Rankin Report for Sunday, December 5th, 2021. From the book of Isaiah, chapter 3, verse 14. The Lord enters into judgment with the elders and princes of his people. It is you who have devoured the vineyard. The plunder of the poor is in your houses. From Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verses 7 and 8. A time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. And from Romans chapter 12, verse 18. If it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. This is the 9th and final installment of our series on why we fight. And today's reason is we can still act. So, we're in a fight, which leaves us asking what our part in this fight is. In one way or another, everyone that has an opinion may put it in different words, but it says the same thing. We do what we can, but we act. In whatever avenue is open to us, we act, we speak. We do not let the moment pass without doing something. Lawyer, author, and radio personality Mark Levin details specific steps in the final chapter of his latest book, American Marxism, and I'll let you read that for yourself. The gist of this, though, most of these, involve getting involved once more in things that we have shunned for years. Be it school board or library board or city council meetings, or, dare I say it, local political committees, precinct captains, maybe even running for office ourselves. The crux is, we must remember that we, the people, are the earthly source of political power in America, and it's time we start acting like it again, especially those of us who are believers. We have avoided such things in the past because we have concluded the process is corrupt. But where is God needed more? People used to look at starving people in Africa and be inspired to do God's work. People looked at slums in American cities and were inspired to do the same. Why is the corruption that we see around us any different? Because the people are well dressed? They speak well, for the most part. Whatever their particular vice is, they keep it mostly under wraps, although some are now open about it. What is really the difference here? How different is America in 2021 from Germany in the 1930s? When the Nazis were handling the Jewish question, quote unquote, in their own evil way, namely to try to wipe them out, Pastor Dietrich Bonhoeffer was wrestling with the question of how the church should respond when the government turns wicked. In a short essay entitled The Church and the Jewish Question, Bonhoeffer wrote this: There are thus three possibilities for action that the church can take vis-a-vis the state. First, as we have said, questioning the state as to the legitimate state character of its actions. That is, making the state responsible for what it does. Second is service to the victims of the state's actions. The church has an unconditional obligation toward the victims of any societal order, even if they do not belong to the Christian community. Let us work for the good of all. These are both ways in which the church, in its freedom, conducts itself in the interest of a free state. In times when the laws are changing, the church may under no circumstances neglect either of these duties. The third possibility is not just to bind up the wounds of the victims beneath the wheel, but to seize the wheel itself. This essay, still debated even today partly because of the passage from the book of Romans we just read, started Bonhoeffer off on the road to challenge the Nazi regime, even to the point of involvement in the unsuccessful plot to assassinate Adolf Hitler, for which he paid with his life. Yet Bonhoeffer's name is remembered as a hero of the faith. And for more details, I would strongly recommend that you read Eric Metaxas's excellent biography, Bonhoeffer, Pastor, Martyr, Prophet, Spy, for details. Many at the time of the nation's founding advanced the idea that Bonhoeffer would later pick up on, that when a government turns against God, disobeys its laws, and oppresses the people, the rulers have lost their legitimate authority to act, and believers have not only the right, but the duty to replace such government. In fact, Benjamin Franklin proposed rebellion against tyrants is obedience to God as the motto for the United States. But this time, God is not looking for a new Lone Ranger to ride off hollering, "Hi-yo, silver away," and leaving a silver bullet as a calling card. Rather expensive habit given the price of silver today. God is moving to rescue this nation, but he will get the glory for this act, and not men. What he is doing instead is calling believers to be the body of Christ, acting as his hands and his feet. And just as Jesus did things that shocked the religious and political leaders, so we are called not to leave the church, we are called not to leave the church, government, and culture to an elite that wants to remove God from his own creation and set themselves up in his place. What is our job? Whatever comes across our path. Be open to seeing God pointing you in directions that you never considered before. Be open to stepping up. Be open for business as the body of Christ. Rebellion against tyranny is still obedience to God. The mission begins. Godspeed. Just a note that there will not be a message next Sunday. My wife and I are heading up to Dallas next week for a conference there, and we will be returning on Sunday, so I doubt I'm going to be putting it together anything for our return. It may still happen, but as far as I can tell, and if it happens, then you'll know about it, but as far as I can tell, we probably will not be able to do that. So we'll be taking next Sunday off. In the meantime, though, if you have not accepted the Lord's offer of salvation through Jesus, please, I beg you, consider the offer and act on it, which is the first action to take in dealing with the crisis at hand. And if you like these videos or you want to subscribe, please hit the appropriate buttons on the YouTube page. That's the Rankin Report for Sunday, December 5th, 2021. God bless you, and have a great day.